What if you went into a bank to deposit some money, and yet they rejected your deposit? They didn't want your business, or they wouldn't even open an account for you. Well, that's what's happening. We are seeing certain people are being rejected because of their political affiliation, because of their religion, because of where they work or how they make their money. That's turning into a major problem. But look at this. It's happened to President Trump himself. President Trump says J.P. Morgan and Bank of America rejected his deposits. Says the Trump administration is expected to take additional efforts to crack down on perceived bias against conservatives in the financial system. Now, even though this article and even the next article is mainly going after conservatives, what they are saying is something that's been happening for decades. People aren't allowed to deposit their money at certain locations because the teller doesn't like the person. They don't believe in the way they make money. They don't like their, political affiliation. They don't like and don't agree with their religion or whatever it may be. We've seen this, especially with cannabis over the years, where you could not deposit your money. Right? You couldn't get direct deposit, and that was turning into a massive issue. Now, I want to read a little bit of this article to you, then explain what's happening, because I got a comment the other day, and I want to read this one. Look at this right here. It says, President Donald Trump on Tuesday went after the nation's biggest banks, accusing them of discriminating against him in recent years, as his administration weighs options for cracking down on perceived bias against conservatives in the financial system. According to President Trump, he said that he went to J.P. Morgan and he went to Bank of America. They refused more than $1 billion in deposits. He said he had to spread his cash around in smaller banks all over the place. Now, listen to this right here. It says, the banks discriminated against me very badly. He says Wall Street banks had debanked conservatives for political reasons. On the campaign trail in 2024, Trump vowed to crack down on the practice, and earlier this year publicly scolded Bank of America CEO Brian Moynihan over the issue. Now, this week the White House is expected to come out with some type of banking or debanking executive order. That's something that we're going to see. Now, here's the reason why I bring this to your attention. Look at this right here. It says Trump wants to stop banks from debanking conservatives and crypto. Here's what we know. I want to read this comment to you. So somebody wrote on one of my videos, and I quote, I don't see why banks are against crypto. Many countries have started buying it. Large companies are using it and accepting it. So why can't all U.S. banks get on board? It's the time. It's our time. Now, this is what somebody wrote in response. They wrote, and I quote, the U.S. banking system is old and needs a complete refresh. I have been with Wells Fargo for more than 10 years. And the very first time I purchased any cryptocurrency, I pulled the money from this account. As you can imagine, holding Bitcoin for 10 years has been very lucrative. I bought 10 Bitcoin back on March 17, 2015 for $285 each. That was a great price. And I finally sold one Bitcoin recently for $119,000. I deposited that money into my Wells Fargo account, but within the day, my account was locked for suspicious activity. My funds were frozen, and now my account has been permanently closed due to nature of transactions. Is this just me, or are more people going through the same thing? Okay, here's the reason I bring this to your attention. We have all these different exchanges out there. We got Coinbase, you got, whatever, right? We have all these different exchanges. We also have many different trading platforms. And this is not just for crypto. I had friends that their bank accounts were shut down. This really happened during the pandemic when they opened up like a Robinhood account or a Webull account. There's other accounts out there as well. But when they did this, What happened was their accounts were just frozen. They couldn't do a thing with them, okay? Because they tried to fund their Robinhood account using their, let's say, a Bank of America. I believe it was Bank of America for one of my friends. And his Robinhood account, it showed that he put in it was like $250 or something like that. It showed it in there. He can't access the funds. He can't withdraw the money. He can't trade, okay? He bought a bunch of stock, and they're up pretty good. He can't access the money. He can't sell them. He has no access to that. He can only see it. But his bank account, within like a few weeks, was blocked. Shut down, couldn't access it, couldn't do anything with it. Essentially, he had to open up a new account with a different bank, change all of his routing numbers, all the banking information for direct deposits and for automatic payments, right? Simply screwed him over. But that's what's been happening. So with this person right here saying that they sold one Bitcoin just recently for 119,000, which pretty close to the peak. I believe it's the peak is like $120,300 or something, like a little over 120,000. So he sold at almost the peak. That is interesting because then they blocked his account once the money showed up in that account. And he says it was permanently closed due to the nature of transactions. I don't know if he's been doing anything else, but we are now starting to pay for things using cryptocurrency. It's not just Bitcoin anymore. It's not just Ethereum or Litecoin. Right? There's so many other coins out there, other meme coins. Trump coins out there. Okay? So President Trump right now, he feels that debanking is a major risk, is a serious risk here in the United States. Because if all these people are now using cryptocurrency for transactions, why are we going to go and punish those people? I understand if it's suspicious activity, which according to this person, their account was locked for suspicious activity. But then you prove that it shouldn't be suspicious. This is me. I'm doing this, right? And then everything's fine. No, their funds were frozen. I have no clue if their account is even open to this day, but this was a while back. So it's a little bit concerning right there. Now I want to leave you with this. Trump wants to end all these people seeing their accounts closed. Because think about this for a second. What if you made a deposit to the Trump campaign? Or let's flip it. What if you made a deposit? It's like, okay, I like what Trump says. You know what? I'm going to deposit $100. I'm going to pay $100 into his campaign to help him win the presidency. What if this was your thought back in 2024? Or on the flip side, you're like, yeah, Kamala Harris has some good points. I want to invest $100 into her campaign, right? And then what if the bank sees it and she's like, you know what? We can't have this. We can't have this. Well, I don't want people from my bank putting any money into this person's campaign. We're gonna shut it down. We're just gonna block their funds, right? Lock them up, right? And their account shut down. We're not doing that. Or let's take it a step further. What if you are paying to save the rainforest? You're trying to save pandas over in another country. You're trying to send money to some other country to help them with famine. And what if a bank decides, no, we're going to shut that down. I don't want you spending that money over there. No. Or again, let's take it another step further. What if you decide you want to contribute, and you're feeling charitable, and you're going to put some money into the church? Every single month, you're going to invest $100 into a church of your choosing. Doesn't matter what the religion is, but you want $100 every month. You want to pay that to the church to help. And what if the bank says, no, we are going to shut you down. We're going to stop this because we do not agree with where that money's going. That's what President Trump is ready to stop. He doesn't want banks debanking the American people just because their views don't align. But let me know your thoughts. Do you think this is a good thing, or do you think this is a bad thing? Or do you think this should have been done a long time ago? Let me know down in the comment section below, but as soon as we get more information on this and how this is going to impact us, I promise I'll bring you all the latest news and updates as soon as we get them. As of today, that is what we know. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.